Okay, let's unpack this. We are diving deep today into something pretty serious, a crisis that, if we don't get a handle on it, really threatens the U.S. economy. We're talking construction, classrooms, boardrooms, you name it.
That's right. It's the skills shortage.
Exactly. And our whole discussion today is really grounded in this crucial piece of research.
Yeah, it's a new report from the Georgetown University Center on Education and the Workforce. They call it Falling Behind: How Skills Shortages Threaten Future Jobs. Very direct title.
It is. So our goal here is simple. Give you the essential info. We need to grasp just how big this projected labor gap is through 2032.
Huge gap.
And pinpoint which jobs are getting hit hardest. And believe me, this list covers like every major sector.
It really does.
And then, maybe most importantly, look at the actual strategies being proposed to, soften the blow.
And if there's one number, just one, you take away from this deep dive today, let it be this one. The U.S. needs 5.25 million additional workers.
5.25 million.
Yeah, workers with education beyond high school. By 2032, that's the hole we're looking at.
That number feels almost paralyzing, especially given the timeline, right? We're talking less than a decade.
It's tight.
And here's the kicker, right? 4.5 million of that 5.25 million. So the vast majority, they're going to need a bachelor's degree or even higher.
That's the really stunning part. We're not just talking about a little extra training here and there.
No.
This points to a systemic issue in how we're preparing people.
Okay, so let's get into the math behind this. Why is this happening now?
Well, that 5.25 million, it isn't just pulled out of thin air. It's mainly driven by demographics, sort of a collision course.
Demographic crunch, you mean?
Exactly. You've got this massive wave of retirements hitting, but the incoming workforce, well, it's just not prepared at the same level. The report lays out the numbers very clearly.
Okay, break down that mismatch for us.
All right, so picture this. On one side, you have 18.4 million experienced workers. These folks have post-secondary education, degrees, training.
Right, the institutional knowledge.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And they're expected to retire between now and 2032. That's a huge drain.
18.4 million people walking out the door. Right.
But then look at who's coming in to replace them. The projection is only 13.8 million younger workers entering the labor market with similar qualifications.
Wait, hold on. Just doing the quick math. 18.4 retiring, 13.8 coming in. That's already a deficit of 4.6 million people.
You got it. 4.6 million short just based on retirement alone.
And we haven't even talked about economic growth yet.
And that's the other shoe dropping, the compounding factor. Over that same time frame, the U.S. economy is also expected to add another, 685,000 brand new jobs.
Also requiring post-secondary education?
Also requiring post-secondary education and training. So you add that retirement deficit, the 4.6 million, to the new jobs needed, the 685,000.
And bam, you land right at that 5.25 million gap.
Exactly. It's like a perfect storm. Retirements, under preparation, and job growth all hitting at once.
Wow. It really makes you wonder how we let the preparation pipeline get so, out of sync with the demographic reality. Seems like alarm bells should have been ringing earlier.
You'd think so.
And the scope of this, it's not just like a few specialized tech fields struggling, is
Oh,
it?
not at all. The CEW looked at 561 different occupations across the U.S.
561, okay.
And they found that 171 of them, that's nearly a third, are facing definite skill shortages through 2032.
A third of all occupations.
Yeah. This is systemic. It's structural. It affects everything from, managing supply chains to providing medical care.
Which brings us right to the political dimension, doesn't it? The report apparently doesn't ignore that.
No, it doesn't shy away. It explicitly states that current immigration policies are, making things worse. They're compounding the need for this huge, immediate investment in education and training here at home.
Because if one source of skilled workers, domestic education isn't enough.
And you tighten the restrictions on the other main source, skilled immigration, then that gap just gets bigger.
That makes sense.
The CEW isn't really taking a side. They're just pointing out that these conflicting policy pressures are definitely intensifying the crisis. It's an unavoidable part of the equation.
Okay, so the report gave us the big picture math, but it also zooms in, right? It highlighted 9 specific occupations.
Yeah, 9 that they said warrant further discussion, either because the shortfalls are massive or because the jobs are just so critical to daily life or the economy.
And the list is, well, it's basically everything that makes society run. Accountants, lawyers, construction workers, doctors.
Engineers, managers, nurses, teachers, truck drivers. It's your core infrastructure, really.
So where's the biggest hole?
We have to start with management. by far the largest gap. And this isn't just one type of manager. It gets across everything.
Like CEOs, finance managers.
Operations managers, sales managers, you name it. It's basically the leadership layer of American business and industry.
Okay, so what's the number? How big is the management gap?
We are looking at a projected shortage of 2.9 million managers by 2032.
2.9 million.
Just to put that in perspective for you, that's roughly the total number of people employed in the entire state of Arizona.
Wow. Imagine losing the leadership capacity of an entire state.
Yeah.
That's huge.
It's massive. Nearly 3 million people needed just to effectively lead organizations, navigate challenges. And these aren't entry-level jobs you fill quickly.
Right. You can't just do a weekend seminar for these roles. What kind of education are we talking about for managers?
Well, currently, 56% of managers hold a bachelor's degree or higher. And a huge 82% have some education beyond high school.
So high educational requirements, plus you need experience. Replacing them is going to be tough. Sets us up for years of inefficiency if we don't close that gap.
Absolutely. It's a major drag on productivity potential.
Okay, so management is the brain drain threatening efficiency. Let's shift to maybe the heart of essential services, healthcare and education.
Yeah.
How bad are the crises there?
They are critical, definitely. We're facing a teacher shortfall of 611,000.
600,000 teachers. That impacts K-12 classrooms directly.
Big time. And in healthcare, it's rough, too. The combined shortage for nurse practitioners and registered nurses, 362,000. Plus, you need another 42,000 licensed practical nurses, LPNs.
That's just a staggering number of caregivers and educators missing from the system. And the report mentions causes, right? Like burnout after COVID and fewer people enrolling in these programs.
Yeah, it seems like a triple threat, almost. You've got high turnover. Burnout is definitely driving people out. That's a retention failure.
Okay.
Then you have declining enrollment in teaching and nursing programs, so the pipeline bringing new people in is shrinking. That's a pipeline failure.
Right.
But maybe the most insidious problem, especially for nursing, is the related shortage of nursing faculty, the people who actually train the new nurses.
The bottleneck is in the training itself.
Precisely. The CEW suggests it's partly because faculty salaries are often lower than what experienced nurses can make working in hospitals or clinics.
So the best potential trainers have a financial incentive not to teach.
Exactly. Why teach when you can earn more practicing? It creates this vicious cycle where the system undermines its own ability to produce the skilled workers it desperately needs.
That's a tough structural problem.
Yeah.
Okay, let's pivot again. Innovation, infrastructure, the technical skills that drive economic strength. Engineering comes up.
Yep, a projected shortage of 210,000 engineers.
And that impacts what? Our ability to compete.
Directly. Engineers drive tech advancements, they build infrastructure, they're key to big transitions like moving to green energy, fixing roads and bridges. If we're short 210,000 engineers, it absolutely hinders our ability to grow the economy and stay competitive globally.
And here we are, back to that policy conflict again. Right?
We are. The report stresses that historically, the U.S. has relied more and more on immigrants to fill these high-level technical jobs like engineering, simply because not enough young Americans were going into these fields or getting the qualifications.
But the political mood has shifted towards reducing immigration,
which is directly at odds with the economic needs shown in this data. It creates a really difficult situation for employers in high-tech sectors. Where do they find the talent?
An almost impossible bind. Okay, last category from that list of 9. Let's not forget the skilled trades and logistics, the people who physically keep things moving.
Right. Truck drivers and, interestingly, sales workers are grouped here, a combined shortfall of 402,000. And then 200,000 short in construction workers.
And you feel that, right? Every time a construction project seems to drag on forever.
Oh, absolutely. That's why projects that maybe should take a year now take 2. You see that drag everywhere.
And for these jobs, the report says the issue isn't just education, it's lifestyle.
Yeah, it's more about the job conditions. Things like inflexible hours, not much family time, maybe industry cultures that just don't appeal to younger workers, even if the pay is decent.
So the trades need a culture shift just as much as they need more bodies.
That seems to be the implication. It's not just about recruitment numbers.
Okay, so we've laid out the problem. 5.25 million workers short. We know where the biggest gaps are: management, healthcare, education, tech, trades. We know the demographic and policy drivers. Now, what can actually be done besides just hoping for, massive immediate increases in graduation rates, which seems like a long shot in the short term?
Well, the most promising strategy the report identifies, at least for the short to medium term, is focusing on increasing labor force participation, the LFPR.
LFPR. Okay, for listeners who maybe don't track economic stats daily, what exactly is the labor force participation rate? And why is the year 2000 benchmark so important here?
Sure. It's simply put, the LFPR is just the percentage of working-age civilians who are either employed or actively looking for work. Back in the year 2000, the U.S. hit its all-time high, 67.3%.
Okay, 67.3%. A higher share of the population was economically engaged then.
Right. So the report runs this scenario. What if we could get the LFPR back up to that 67.3% peak and also get the unemployment rate down to 4.1%, which is where it was back then, too?
What happens?
The workforce would increase by a staggering 12 million people.
12 million. Wait a minute. That's more than double the 5.25 million gap we need to fill by 2032.
Exactly. On paper, it looks like, wow, problem solved. The potential workers are theoretically out there, just not currently participating in the labor force.
That sounds almost too good to be true. There has to be a catch.
There is, and it's a big one. It's the education caveat. Just getting those 12 million people back into the labor force doesn't automatically solve the skills shortage. The report estimates that if those 12 million potential workers did come back, about 52% of them, more than half, would likely have no education or training beyond a high school diploma.
So, okay, the report is saying we have the potential number of people available, the bodies are there,
Yeah.
but they don't have the skills needed for these specific shortage occupations.
Precisely. The solution isn't just coaxing people off the sidelines, it's getting them skilled up immediately.
So increased participation has to go hand in hand with massive reskilling and training efforts.
Absolutely. They are two sides of the same coin.
Which leads us to another angle. The report mentions the demographic opportunity. The CEW director, Jeff Stroll, he frames these shortages differently, right? Not just as a crisis, but maybe as a chance.
Yeah, he makes the point that these shortages could actually be an opportunity for millions of workers, especially people from low-income backgrounds or from racial and ethnic groups that have historically faced barriers. A chance to gain access to these in-demand, better-paying jobs.
That's an interesting perspective. Connect the problem to the solution.
And it links back to the broader demographic shift. The U.S. youth population, our future workforce, is already majority-minority. So if we're serious about closing this 5.25 million skills gap...
Our teaching, our counseling, our training strategies have to adapt. They need to be responsive to who's actually in the classrooms and training centers now.
Exactly. We can't just keep using the same old playbook from decades ago. It won't work for today's and tomorrow's workforce.
Okay, so putting it all together, we need more participation, massive reskilling tailored to diverse populations, maybe targeted immigration. What are the final, actionable bullet points the report suggests for policymakers and industries?
They boil it down to about 4 core pillars. First, really studying and improving skills-based hiring.
So focusing on what people can do, not just the degree they hold.
Right, focus on demonstrated abilities. Second, investing heavily in reskilling existing workers, helping people already in the workforce update their skills for today's demands.
Makes sense. Keep the people we have current.
Third, using technology strategically to boost worker productivity, making each worker more effective, essentially getting more done with the people we do have.
Okay, and the last one.
And finally, circling back to immigration, expanding visa programs specifically to prioritize immigrants who already have those critical in-demand skills, especially in areas like engineering where the domestic pipeline is lagging.
Got it. So it's a multi-pronged approach. No single easy answer.
Definitely not.
All right. This has been a really critical deep dive. Let's try to summarize the key takeaways for everyone listening. The big number, a projected skills gap of 5.25 million workers by 2032.
Dominated by a huge management shortage of nearly 3 million.
And with critical shortfalls that really jeopardize our core systems: education, healthcare, infrastructure, innovation.
And the crucial thing to understand, I think, is that this isn't just about people not wanting jobs. It's a structural challenge. It's tied directly to policy choices, especially around immigration.
And also to industry norms, right? Things that might be pushing younger workers away from vital trades.
Exactly. And while we have this potential pool of 12 million workers via increased participation, the challenge immediately pivots to, how do we train them? The infrastructure needed for that is massive.
So here's the final thought we want to leave you with. If that potential 12 million person workforce boost could theoretically close the gap, but over half need significant training, what specific societal shifts beyond just funding, beyond just money, are really required to make that kind of mass reskilling effort work effectively by 2032.
Think about the accessibility, the affordability, the responsiveness of the training needed. To achieve that scale in just 8 years, it's a monumental task.
It really is.
The Georgetown University Center on Education and the Workforce, their report lays out the data that fuels this necessary conversation. We definitely encourage you to check out their full report if you want to go even deeper. They really focus on connecting education, careers, and workforce needs.
Absolutely. Well worth exploring further. We'll see you next time for the next deep dive.